Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Prepping on the creek here, and we got a new product. This is a new company. They did reach out to me and wanted me to test and review their product. It is called a Vanpowers AC-10 600 watt inverter power station. It has a 640 watt hour battery capacity, and it is lithium iron phosphate. It's a very nice unit. Been testing it over the last week and just want to go over it, review it, so stay tuned. Alright guys, let's do a walk around of this product and see what we're getting. First off, you can see we do have a DC car adapter with two 5521 ports. We have USB that has one UCB-C, and it is a power delivery. Now it doesn't say it, it just says USB-C output. But we've tested it and we'll show you that later in the video. But that is a 60 watt power delivery port, and it's output only. It has two 5 volt, 2.4 volt USB-A outputs and a quick charge 5 volt 3 amp USB output. Has two AC outlet plugs, and each one has a ground hole. Don't know if it's grounded or not, but those are very solid plugs. Now I've reached out to the company, and you have two ports right here, very interesting ports. This one right here allows you to add an extra battery. Now as of right now, that battery is not showing on their website, nor the cable to hook that battery up, but you can extend the battery capacity through this port. And over here you can actually jump your vehicle with this power station. It comes with an attachment and it plugs right in there. And stay tuned in the video because we're going to show you jumping a vehicle with this power station. Now it does have a very nice light. Now most power stations I can live with them or live without the lights that come on them, but I do like these diffuse lights because they give a nice white light. Now I'm going to turn it so we don't blind the camera, but it has 5 modes. First is a low mode, then you got a medium, then it goes to high. Now beware, this next one is a strobe, and then an SOS. Now you do have to cycle through all 5 positions on the switch to get to the end, but it is a very, very nice light. This is one of the best lights I've seen on a power station. I like the one that's on the Sateki 240 watt hour, but it's a little more soft. It's got a little bit more of a yellow tone to it, but it is a diffuse light too. But my Blue Eddies EcoFlow River Pros have like a flashlight type light, and they serve their purpose. But if you needed to light a room up, this one will actually do it. And it's made very well. You go around to the back, very good ABS plastic all the way around the unit. Got 2 fans, and I've yet to get the fans to kick on. They do momentarily come on when you turn the AC power on. See right there, and then it goes off. So I think that's every time you turn the AC on, the fan will kick on and then it'll go right back off. So it's a very nice unit. Now one of the other things is you got your input port. There's 3 ways to charge it: through a power brick, through a car adapter, and with the solar panel. Now if there's one of the main gripes I have with the unit, this is a very slow charger. It doesn't matter if you use the AC adapter, the car adapter, or the solar panel. The most you're going to get into it is 65 watts. It can take 12 to 30 volts input, but you're not going to get above 65 watts, and we'll show that later in the video, solar charging using the car adapter and the AC adapter. But you're not going to get any more than 65 watts. Now, one of the nice things is it does come with, well, it doesn't come with it. You can get either the unit by itself or with the Vanpowers solar panel, and it is a 100-watt panel. And this thing, I really like it. It has a, let me just see if I can show it to you real quick. I've got some cables and stuff in there. It has a nice zipper pocket. It has all the nice tips. You can charge any power station with it. It comes with a 5521, a 5521 to Anderson, and again, like I say, all these tips. Now that's what it came with. Me personally, I went and added, because I have an EcoFlow River Pro, I added a 5521 to XT60, and then I added a extension cable, which this will plug in to the unit, and it will extend this cable out because it is a female on this end. So you can plug it in that way, and you can extend it. This is a 10-foot extension cable, so I added that. You know, got it from Amazon with the XT60. Now, I'm going to put this on the side here, but you have 2 USB ports, a USB-C, and your DC is where you charge it with solar. So this is a very nice panel. See if I can open it up real quick. And basically what you have here is SunPower cells. I have an SP200 Blue 80 panel, and these panels are the exact same panels. They got the ETFE coating, and the first time I tried it, I pulled 95 watts on my EcoFlow River Pro with this. So it done a fantastic job. But we'll show some more testing on that throughout the video. But you can get this separate, or you can get it as a unit. Now we're going to do some testing on the USB ports, make sure they do what they do, and we're going to run some stuff with it. We're going to jump a car, and just stay tuned, because we got a lot. I'm going to try to go pretty in depth on this. I will put timestamps in the video so you can jump around and get to a part maybe that you want to, because like I say, they sent this to me to review it. So I want to give it a good review. I want to give you guys all the information that I can give you on it to make a decision. Now the cost on it, the unit is $489, but it has, if you go to their website, as of the filming of this video, it's $449 with $50 off. Then you can get an additional coupon code, and it takes it down to $399. Now the panel is $279, I believe, but the same thing. You get $50 off, and what it ends up being is you can get the panel for $199. But you can buy them together, and I don't have the price on that, but I will put links in the bottom that if you like this unit, you can click on them, go to their website. This is a new company, and I was skeptical about what I was going to get, but I've been really impressed with what I did receive, because the panel is amazing. And so is the power station. There are a couple things that I do want to talk about with it, and the best way to do that is to just show you. So stay tuned. Okay guys, I got a 1800 watt toaster here, 900 on each side. This is a 600 watt inverter with 1200 peak. Okay, so what we're going to do is toast some bread. This should trip it, but if you look, it won't. If you're familiar with the EcoFlow River Pro, this is putting out 621 watts, and it has dropped the voltage down to 101.7. So I'm running a heating element item here, and it will not trip it. Let's do 1800. See the watts go down, and sorry, it has dropped it all the way down to 60 volts. So we're going to stop it, and it will come back up, and there you go, 108, 109 volts. So when it says it has a 600 watt inverter, 1200 peak, it doesn't pop the inverter. It lowers the voltage. Now, like I say, if you're again familiar with the EcoFlow River Pro, it has what they call an X boost, and it allows you to run up to 1800 watts on the unit. So I don't know if that's a feature or not, but now I put an air compressor on this, and it just dropped the voltage on the air compressor, but the motor turned really, really slow. So I turned it off. I put a skill saw on it, same exact thing. This will not pop. Now, there's a good and bad to that, just like I told you with the EcoFlow River Pro. Take the good. If I want to run a toaster with this, I'm not going to hurt it if it drops the voltage, because it's a heating element. That heating element is not going to be harmed by reduced voltage. But more sensitive equipment, you want to know how many watts that you're running. So if you have, something that requires 700 watts and it's got some sensitive electronics in it, I would not run it with this item. It does have a very good screen. It gives you a percentage. It tells you how long that will last, and then just like, let's see if I can get the toaster to come back on, it gives you watts. Now the watts that it gives you, it's not an in or an output watts. If I hook a charger up to this, the watts that it's pulling will go down. It'll be offset by the 65 watts that are coming in to charge it. So it is a net amount of watts that you're going to receive on the display. So just wanted to point that out. It is a 600 watt inverter with a 1200 peak. Do not run any appliances with this unit above 600 watts or above a 1200 watt surge, except for heating elements, toasters, hair dryers. You can run heating guns, stuff like that. This won't hurt it. It'll just drop the voltage down to compensate, and it won't go above, very much above the 600 watts. So it'll maintain the 600 watts that the inverter puts out, but it will not trip. So if you have something, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I just want to, be thorough in saying, don't go above 600 watts on something that is sensitive electronics. Okay? Okay, guys, we're going to plug some stuff into this thing and see how it's working. I got myself crowded in here a little bit. Let's set this down here on the floor too. So we got 2 fans plugged into it. We're going to charge our Sateki. We've got 2 Bose Bluetooth speakers and an iPad. So we have all of our USBs filled up. The only thing we don't have going is these 3 ports. So you can, plug in 3 more items to this. There's 2 5521s and a car adapter. So let's go ahead and turn the DC port on. Let me get my glasses, and I'm going to spin this to see. So we're pulling 34, 37, 39. It's going in. And just with these items, let's turn the inverter off. And we're showing 70 some watts charging our Sateki and running these 3 things right here. Okay, 84 now. So it's still going up a little bit. And we're at 90%, and at 90% it would run that for 7 hours. Okay, now we know it's not going to take 7 hours for those things to charge, but it does give you a time until done. So now let's turn our AC on. You will hear that fan, and then it'll shut off. Now we're going to turn, we got 2 fans plugged in. So it might get a little loud. And now you can see we're pulling in, or excuse me, putting out over 200 watts of power. And with all that running, it would go for 2.3 hours, and we're at 89%. So, not bad. Everything works out great. All the AC works, all the USB works, and you can plug a lot of stuff in here. You can put a full-size, TV with all the attachments, if it has an Apple TV or what have you. You can do a lot of different things with it. This is great for camping, great for emergency backup, and we'll show you running a few more things here, and we'll show you the testing we did on these ports and the solar charging and the car charging and all that. All right. I did want you to see the look of the Vanpowers solar panel. It has SunPower cells, and it is basically identical to the Blue Eddy SP200. And Vanpowers calls this the SP100. And as you can see, they're identical. The only difference is the SP200 is a 200 watt portable panel. This is a 100 watt portable panel. All right, we're going to hook the Blue Eddy SP200 solar panel to the Vanpowers AC-10. The Blue Eddy solar panel is within the 12 to 30 volts that it's allowed, but I imagine we're still not going to get any more than 65 watts because that seems to be the max. So there we have it. We're getting 66 watts, and it's bouncing around a little bit. So as long as you're within the 12 to 30 volts, you can over panel it, but the only downside to the Vanpowers is charging speed, and that's the most you're going to get in is 65 watts. Now we're going to hook Vanpowers' own solar panel to it and see how it compares to the SP200. So we're going to plug the Vanpowers 100 watt SP100 panel in, and we won't expect any more than what we were getting from the Blue Eddy, and that's about right. So that's the only negative to this power station, is it charges very slow. And we're at around 62 watts. So 200 watt panel putting out the same as a 100 watt panel. But the advantage is if you have the 100 watt panel, you're going to max it out. So you'll be able to get the most you can get into it. I'm going to show you the 12 volt charging on the Vanpowers AC-10. And we're just going to use the Sateki to do that. You got the dongle, the charging cable plugged into it, and then we just plug that in to the port there. And you can see we're getting about what this is going to charge at, around 60 to 65 watts. And it tells you in 0.8 hours it'll be at 100% at this rate. So all the ports, doesn't matter what you do, how many, how much wattage of solar panels you use, it's going to charge at 60 to 65 watts. Okay, now we're going to charge from the AC wall outlet. All 3 ways to charge this goes with the same port, and I imagine we're going to top out around 60 to 65 watts. Right now we're at 56, and maybe that's the max we'll get from the AC outlet. And it's not moving any farther, so I imagine 56 watts from the AC outlet. We're getting 60 to 65 from solar, and 60 from the car outlet. And this charger, as you can see, 19 volts at 3.2 amps for 60.8 watts. But we're getting 56. All right, we're going to check the quick charge port. Should give us 5 volts at 3 amps. Turn the DC on. Right now we're at 2.85. Let's go ahead and take it to so we've got 3 amps. We're getting a little over 5 volts. It says 15.4. The screen is showing 17 watts. So we are getting a good quick charge. Now we'll check okay, it kicked off because that should be 2.4 watt or amps. Say, let's take it down. .4, 13 watts. And our tester is a little off, but we are getting 2.4, so let's go ahead and, because it looked like it could take a little more. We're at 2.5. No issues. Let's check the other USB port. 2.5. And we're getting 13 watts, so those ports check out. Now this says it has a 60 watt power delivery port. Let me unplug that so we can start fresh. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge our Sateki and see how many watts we're able to put into the Sateki. It's hard to do with one hand here, but we'll get it. Okay, you can see a charge going in. Watts are climbing. So we're just charging the Sateki from the power delivery port of the AC-10. And there we go, 62 watts. Sateki is taking a charge. And if you can see that, we'll turn it around there. We're getting 20 volts, 3 amps for 61.2. And that's pretty accurate with what the screen says. So that is a true 60 watt power delivery port. Okay, we're going to use the Vanpowers to jump start the battery. That is one of the great features that this product has. And I'm going to show you and verify. I left some lights on so we can show you that we have a dead battery. Nothing. All right, we're going to jump start the car. This is your port. This is the equipment that comes with it. And you just plug it in to that port. You hook your negative to negative, positive to positive. You'll get a green indicator showing that it's connected. Hit the boost button. There you go. Start it right up. and then you just disconnect, unplug, and you just jump started your car. Pretty good. One thing I did notice though is you want to, as soon as you jump start, come out and unhook it, because it'll try to reset, and it could actually kill the battery. So just as soon as you get it started, come out and unhook the cables as soon as it's running. Let your car run for a few minutes so the alternator will charge the battery back up, and you're good. All right, we're back here in the pantry room, and right now we're running 3 of our 4 circuits off the transfer switch. We're pulling 162 watts, and at that rate it would run for 3 hours. Remember, this is a 640 watt hour battery, and at 88% you're looking at 3.1 hours. Now, you don't need to have all your lights on, you don't need to have all your TVs on, so in emergency power outage situation you could conserve energy and stretch that out, and we'll give you an example of that. Okay, so we turned the TV off and the lights off, and it would extend your time. See, now it's at 5.6 hours, and we're just pulling 88 watts, and right now the only thing really that's running off that is my main refrigerator in my kitchen. Now, if you've watched my channel, you know I have a refrigerator and 2 freezers in this room. Do we dare try it? Let's see if we can run it. We're going to come up here, flick those over, and right now we're running 2 refrigerators, 2 freezers, and that would run for 1.8 hours at 307 watts. So there you go. I did this with the Blue Eddy EB70. Now let's go ahead and turn all 4 on. I apologize for the camera angle. So there you go. 375 watts running everything on my transfer switch, all 4 circuits. Now if I kept it that way, it would run for 1.7 hours. But again, it was a 640 watt hour battery, and we're pulling almost 375 watts. So this will run everything on my transfer switch. Now, would I do it that way? Probably not. Maybe I would run 1 circuit, or I would just take this and put it in the living room, or take it to the bedroom and run my bedroom off of this. Or, like I say, it's a good camping power station. Alright guys, tell me what you think about the Vanpowers AC-10. 600 watt inverter, 1200 peak, 640 watt hour battery, LiFePO. That is huge. It is a LiFePO, so you're going to get over 2,000 to 2,500 cycles before you lose the top 80% of the battery. I was impressed. It ran my transfer switch, and it didn't drop the voltage on it because it stayed under 600 watts. And typically when I'm running those refrigerators and freezers, they will stay under 600 watts. Sometimes they'll get around 550 when all 4 of them are running at the same time. But I did the same test on the EB70 that I just did on this one, and it passed. You can pass through charge. Just like I was telling you before, when you charge, whether it be solar, car adapter, or AC outlet, if you don't have anything plugged in, it'll show you charging watts. But if you have something plugged in, say you're running a 100 watt item, 65 watts, or say 60, whatever it is, you'll only register 40 on the screen. When it's charging, the digit over here will flash, the second digit on the percentage. Again, the screen, we do like it. It gives you, time of service, so you know how long you're going to be able to run the appliances that you're running, do like that. If I had anything to gripe about, I would like to see an input and an output, but we're splitting hairs, and once I got used to how that was working, it wasn't that big of an issue. The other thing that I didn't like is that I couldn't trip it the traditional way. The safety feature on this Vanpowers is that it doesn't trip. It lowers the voltage down and keeps your wattage under 600. So again, be careful with anything. Make sure you're running stuff that's 600 or under. You can surge up to 1200 watts, because I did do that with refrigerators and freezers, because mine, you normally don't surge. I think it's around 999 or 1100 sometimes on my my stand-up freezer in the back. It probably pulls the most surge watts out of all the cooling appliances that I have. But you can surge to 1200, but make sure it comes back below 600. Don't run anything that's not a heating element above 600 watts on this, because again, the safety feature on that protects the power station is it drops the voltage. It does not kick the inverter off. So it'll run whatever you plug into it, but it's going to reduce the voltage. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record on that, but that is different from other power stations. Usually if you go over the wattage on the inverter, it's going to shut the inverter off. This one does not shut off, reduces the voltage, and there you go. That's enough of that. But that, you could take that as a positive or a negative, because you can run heating element stuff above 600 watts, like space heaters, heating guns, toasters, stuff like that. The only other thing I could complain about too is we do have an extra battery port here, but that's not been out yet. So, I don't know how that's going to work, but, from talking to the company is, it is coming. There's a cable you hook in here just like you would, on your Eco River Pro, if anybody has one of those. And then you have another battery, and, the way it works from the user's manual, and maybe I hope I don't have this backwards, but I think it draws from the extra battery first, then the main unit, or vice versa. But either way, it doesn't combine them. It just, if it knows if there's a battery plugged in and it's going to deplete that one first, then it will deplete the battery in the main unit. Has a great light. UCB-C power delivery port is 60 watts. I know a lot of people like to see that at 100 watts. And a lot of people like to see it as an in and out. I have mixed feelings about in and out ports. I like to have a couple power stations that you can do both with, but what I found out, especially with the Jackery and the Sateki that I have, both of them have in and out, and that Sateki, I guess, is the dominant power station, because if I plug it in and then plug it into the Jackery, the Sateki charges. If I plug the Jackery in first, then into the Sateki sends the charge. I mean, the Sateki sends the charge whether you plug it in first or second, and the Jackery takes the charge whether you plug it in first or second. Now, what I like about the 60 watt is I have two, like I say, ones that will accept it, so I can charge from the 60 watt power delivery port and transfer power from here to those other two stations if I need to. So that's a good feature. Didn't talk much about the 12 volt port, but now they told me it's regulated. I didn't check. That's the only port that I didn't test, because I don't really have, I ran my Bouge RV off of it and didn't have any issues with it. The voltage didn't seem to drop, but I didn't go below around 70% on it, because I was trying to, mainly what I was checking for is to see if it would kick off, have one of those features where if it doesn't sense a load for a certain period of time, it shuts that, that port off. But it didn't do that, and I ran it down from, I had it charged to 100, ran it down to around 70, and it maintained running that refrigerator without kicking off, and the voltage was the same, but maybe if I got down into around 50, 40 and below. But to my knowledge, that is regulated. That's what they told me, but don't take my word for it. But the beauty of it is LiFePO. So whether it's regulated or not, it's never going to go below 12 volts. It's just going to, you're going to be able to run this almost down to nothing before it kicks this port off because of 12 volts. Now, different from the AC, these will kick off if you put more amps into them than they're allowed. So that's a good thing. So they actually took a little bit more amperage than what they're rated for on the 2.4 and the 3.0 amp. So that was good. Well, like I say, the only negative that I have with it, the biggest negative, is it takes forever to charge it. 65 watts on a 640 watt hour power station. I wish that MPPT charge controller was a little bit better, that it could charge faster. I'd like to see, a battery of this size, because it'll take up to 30 volts, so it can handle the volts. It's the amps that are the issue. But I put my SP200 panel on it, 65 watts. Put the Vanpowers panel on it, 65 watts is the most I can get into it. Put the car adapter, 65 watts. AC adapter, 65 watts. And varies, plus or minus a few watts there. But that's the biggest negative with this power station, is slow charging. I wish, like I say, it was, I wish you could at least get 100 to 200 into it with a battery of this size. But for me, that's not a bad, a deal breaker for me, because I have other power stations. What I would do with this one in an emergency outage is I would take it to my living room or my master bedroom, and I would have it at 100% charge, and I would use it in the evening. When it drains down, I'd come in and plug it into my AC-200P, let it charge from the AC port, or excuse me, the car adapter port, and it would be ready, for me in the evening again. So again, for me, it's not a deal breaker. Some people might not like the 65 watts, the charge rate. But like I say, other than that and the inverter not kicking off, those are the two negatives that I have. The car jump starter, I haven't spoken enough about that, but you did see me, jump a vehicle in the video. That by itself, if you get a good, car charger, you're going to pay anywhere from $60 all the way up to $100 for a decent, one of those little packs that this does for you, and it's included in this power station. So I love that, because if you're out camping, you run your truck battery down, then you've got this. That makes it a lot easier to just plug that in, boom, jump your car, you're ready to go. Really like that feature. The screen, like I say, was good. That's a positive. I'm just trying to think here if I didn't miss anything going over this power station. The price, right now, you can get it for $399 with all the discounts. The links will be down in the description below. And again, I'm just trying to be 100% honest with you. I didn't pay a penny for this. They sent it to me. They didn't tell me to give a certain review, good or bad. They just said the only thing we would like is to be able to use your video on our website. And, I said, I'll do that, but I'll give an honest review. I'll give you the pluses and the minuses. And then the question now to you guys is, would I buy it? I would, for many reasons. 640 watt hour battery capacity, $399 right now. That's 62 cents a watt hour. I can take the negatives of the inverter and the slow charge for 62 cents a watt hour. If you look at the Go Labs, I think the RS300, that thing won't charge any more than 65 watts either. Now, it is a smaller battery. It doesn't take as long to charge because you're not charging as much. But for me, that's not a deal breaker for my situation because I have multiple power stations. The solar panel, you can get that too. I'll put a link in the description below. The panel is basically a Blue Eddy panel because it has the same as the SP200 cells. It's identical. I held them up to each other. I don't think I put that on this video, but they're the same diameter and everything. The only thing that's different is the material. It's a little tighter. The Blue Eddies is a little bit bigger. The kickstands are different because this just has the one in the center. But for $199, would I spend that for a portable panel? I don't know. But I do like it because it does so many different things. Now, let's compare it to some other panels. Is it competitive in the market where portable 100-watt portable solar panels live? And yeah, it is. It's comparable, and the Blue Eddy panel, the 110-watt panel, is more expensive than this one. And you get 10 more watts, but I think it's 110 watts. But anyway, this one is priced in the ballpark with the Blue Eddies, with the Jackeries, with some of the better portable solar panels. So on that instance, yes, if you want the quality that this panel's going out, $199 is a good buy. Now that's with, as it is right now on the website, it's marked down $50, and then there's a coupon code for another $50 on their website. All that will be in the description below. So that's about it. Tell me what you guys think. Is there anything else you would like me to test on it? Put it down in the comments below. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a good product. Whether this company makes it or not, I was a little skeptical, before I got it, but I was very impressed with the quality. And like I say, let me know what you think. Just leave it down. Like and subscribe to the channel if you can. That helps me to grow. Leave comments because that helps as well. And I just enjoy, bringing stuff to you guys that I've been doing. This is the first time I'm reviewing something that somebody sent to me. So, but I do like it. I would buy this. I would have a question on that, but that's just me because I don't like spending more than $100 for a solar panel. But the portable ones cost money, and that's just the way it is. So again, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. It'll let you know when we have another video. I'm starting to ramble, so we're just going to get off here. I thank you again for watching. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next video.